Hey, what is up you guys, Corescubing here, and today I'm bringing you a review on the Cube4You 3x3x5, so let's get into it. Now obviously for the appearance, these stickers are actually really nice. I've always enjoyed the blue and the yellow from Cube4You. I don't know what it is. This looks like electric blue to me, and this yellow is just the yellow that I always enjoy. I hate fluorescent yellow, so I've always just enjoyed it. The red's not too bad, and everything else is kind of just basic. But another thing for the appearance is obviously you'll notice these squished layers here. And I think they've done that, to achieve around the same size as your typical 3x3. And I gotta tell you, I don't mind the look. I think it looks pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and get a checker pattern here. Not too shabby, right? So now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and get on with the turning. Now for the turning, for as long as this puzzle was out, I never actually watched any reviews on this thing, and I gotta tell you, I didn't really have high expectations for the way it turned, but it actually turns really nice. I gotta tell you, you even have the luxury of some cutting, but it wasn't too typical back then. Obviously no reverse. That wasn't a thing back in the day. But with all that praise, there are a couple of problems. My main problem with this puzzle is the pops. Man, does this thing pop, and I don't want to tighten it because I just really enjoy the way that this thing turns. I don't even know if you can tighten these. Oh yeah, you can. So you can tighten them. I haven't lubed it just because I don't... Maybe I should not have done that. But like I said, I don't really want to lube it or loosen it just because I don't want to increase the, the pop factor. Now, one thing about this puzzle that differs it from other 3x3x5s is that this one actually does not shapeshift. As you can see, just by doing normal 3x3 moves, you can actually bandage these two together, and those two layers cannot be moved. So it's almost a different puzzle compared to the fully proportioned 3x3x5s out there. One of the cool things about this... Ooh. Jesus. One of the cool things about this, though, is that if you really wanted to, you could just solve this like a 3x3. Like, without turning these top layers. Essentially, you'll just bandage these together and they're a normal corner piece. Now, before I get into the example solve, I didn't really look up a tutorial on how to solve this thing. Generally, with cuboids, you can get away with using the same algorithms. If I'm being honest, I don't even use them until I get to these top two layers. If you're watching and you're, confused by what I'm doing, I'm sorry. It's definitely not the fastest way. But also when mixing this, you're going to want to do a bunch of, R2 moves just to mix up these, these two layers. Because once you start doing the full moves, you're going to end up locking these up. Pops. Let's go ahead and mix this bad boy up. Okay, I think that's scrambled enough. Now I guess I can explain the way I solve it, as I'm going. Just so you guys aren't too confused as to what's going on. So the way I like to start is I like to get the bottom cross done, and just with this outer top layer here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that's a cross done. Now I like to get these corners in. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get everything lined up so that way I can actually, get these pieces unbandaged. I guess you don't even have to solve, throw them in there correctly, but I think it'll just help. It'll be easier. And then from here, what I do is I just insert the edges like normal, like beginner method. I'll go ahead and just leave that. It doesn't really matter. And then from here, it's just OLL. And once you get OLL done, you are now free to move all these single layers here. So they're no longer bandaged. So from here, what I like to do is I like to get my my centers correct. So as you can see, we need a blue piece to go with this one. So I'm going to look up top. This one looks good. So what I'll do, I'll just bring that up. go ahead and line it up. And then that's how I do that. So I'll go ahead and do that for this last one. Alright, so now my centers are done. Now I do the same thing for the corners. This is actually really bugging me, so I think I'm gonna fix this. It shouldn't mess up anything we've done so far, except for the olo, which is not really a concern for me. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now that we're here on these top two layers, this is when you start using the cuboid algorithms, and I just do basically which I treat this like what is it, a 2x2x3? This thing right here. Essentially, that's what you have up top, and you want to do that without, you know, trying not to disturb any of this, but for the most part, you will disturb these. But yeah, so obviously we found our headlights. Let's go ahead and fix these corners. Now we'll go ahead and do some of these edges here. Okay. I'll go ahead and fix this one. Okay, so you can see we do have these switched around, but we have this layer done. Now again, we'll get our headlights and go ahead and fix these corners. Okay, and now we just do this last algorithm here. Okay, and now we have this parity, and you'll find this on other cuboids. Let's see if I can. Oh man, I'm not even sure if I remember the algorithm. It's been a while. I think it's U2, F2, R2, U2. This one, this one, this one. Well, that was wrong. Let me go ahead and get back to where I was, and we'll try it again. Alright, round two. Let's go. We already got our headlights done. I'm going to try to do this a lot quicker than I did the first half, since I already explained to you guys what I'm doing. Okay. Headlights are done. Just go ahead, do these corners. Ooh. Almost messed that one up too. Jesus. Alright. There's that. And then we'll go ahead and do this edge swapping. There we go. So luckily I didn't run into that parity again, so I didn't have to try to remember. But actually I probably should have, you know, brushed up on this before I try to do a review. But either way, you guys got to see what goes on. So all in all, guys, if you want to get into cuboids and you're kind of afraid of shapeshifting, this could be a route that you could go. It's pretty easy. I solved basically these top three layers just on intuition. And then these are just typical cuboid algorithms that, you know, if you're into any cuboids at all, you probably know them already. If you wish to purchase this puzzle, it can be found at thecubicle.us and stores alike. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you want to see more of me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm out, you guys. Peace.